Yo, what's going on, guys? It's DFS Hart, and today I'm breaking down the 8-game NBA slate. Before we get into that, I just want to say welcome to my channel. My name is Hart, and I make daily NBA, NFL, and PGA slate breakdowns on Draftkings, where I'll go over the best plays of the day, give you some building blocks that you should put in your lineups or some core plays. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell, as it really helped me out, and I greatly appreciate it. Before we get into that, I just want to say, follow me on Twitter at DFS Hart. I'll be answering any questions you guys may have. I'll keep you guys updated on injury news whenever we get that, as it's very vital to help your lineups. Pivot off the guys when some guys are out or in. So let's look back at my lineup from yesterday. In yesterday's video, I mentioned how I love Halliburton. He's like LaMelo Ball. He has that triple-double upside, but he's getting the safer amount of minutes compared to Melo. He'll play about 25 to 30. So I said I really liked him in that matchup. It paid off. 39 fantasy points, only 7.6%. And I know they're on the slate today, and he'll probably be a lot more popular. I think he's the same price, or maybe 4.9. So I'm probably going to run it back with him today. He 10 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists. Can get you some blocks and steals. He's a really good play at 4.9. I took a chance on Seth Curry. As I mentioned, he's scoring dependent, but I was hoping, Embiid would be out. He was in, but I was like, I'm going to leave him in. He's going to be low owned, 4-4. He has the ability to get you into 30 fantasy points, but he kind of just, had a floor day, which was okay. In the video, I mentioned how DeMar was severely underpriced, 6'8". Put up 30, 10, and 1. 47 fantasy points was great. Pascal was another guy I mentioned. They were both pretty popular. He put up, 32, 4 and 2, 40 fantasy points, which wasn't bad. And then Jokic, 10-1. It's very cheap for him. Triple-double upside. He didn't get there triple-double wise, but, still got 61 fantasy points. And then I told you, Durant was out, so you could take a shot on Harden and Kyrie. I know if you game stacked that or played them both. If you played the starting 5 of the Nets, it did really well. It would have got you into the 300s easily with the other value in plays today. But yeah, I played Kyrie 8-7, 44. Game kind of blew out, so he didn't get full run, but, he got you there. And then I took a shot on Jaden McDaniels, with Naz Reid out. I knew they were going to play Ed Davis, but, going up against Embiid, I was expecting him to get in some foul trouble. And I was, thinking they'd play McDaniels. They were playing him a decent amount, 15 to 20 minutes already. I was expecting them, maybe slide him to the 5 or play a lot more minutes at the 4. And he did, but, he's not a high usage guy, but he's still got 16 fantasy points, which is fine. And then I played Cam Reddish. I knew he would be low owned. He had the ability to get you in the 30s, but he just had a terrible game. Even with DeAndre Hunter getting hurt, Cam Reddish started from the second half and did absolutely nothing. And it was a blowout, so I'm just not sure why he didn't do anything, but I still managed to cash, make $5, which is, fine, but nothing too big. But, it is nice going over these lineups and seeing, what I say in the videos and, putting in my lineups and seeing how it turns out. I wish I would have won to probably, Theo Maledon, because he ended up getting 34. He shot the ball extremely well, which is, not going to happen for him, and that would have allowed me to pay up for another guy in the utility spot instead of Cam Reddish, but oh well. So now let's get into it. We have an 8-game slate. We have, Rockets Pelicans, 1-point spread, 223 over under. Bucks Hornets, 8-point spread, 230 over under. Blazers Bulls, 2.5-point spread, 233 over under. Kings Heat, 4.5 spread, 225 over under. Lakers Celtics, 2-point spread, 218 over under. Grizzlies Spurs, 3.5 spread, 220 over under. Suns Mavericks, 1.5 spread, 216 over under. And then Pistons Warriors, 4.5 spread, 223 over under. So let's start off with Milwaukee Charlotte. You got Giannis at the top, 10-8 against Charlotte. Great matchup. You just want to hope this game stays close. Milwaukee hasn't been killing teams this year, so it's been good to play him, but his price tag is kind of up there. You can go there. He'll be low owned. I don't mind it. Has the ability to get you close to 70 fantasy points. Last game it was a blowout for a while. They were down by like 20 in the third quarter. Ended up making it a pretty close game. He went off for about almost 70 fantasy points. So I'm fine with you getting to Giannis. You know what you're getting from him. Same thing with Middleton. His price tag is up, so he becomes a little bit less viable. But I mean, he does have that safe floor in the 40s. So I'm fine with you targeting this game. Getting at least one piece if you want to for a low owned ownership in whatever tournament you're playing. You can also take a shot on Drew Holiday. It's the same with all three. Obviously, Giannis has the biggest upside, but Middleton and Drew Holiday, if they're having a good game, can get you there, and they're going to be low owned. Not a lot of people like playing them. And then the last guy I mentioned is Bobby Portis at 4-2. Recently it's been a little iffy with minutes, but usually if they're blowing out a team, he'll get you close to 20, even 30 minutes. Has the ability, get you a double-double. So I do like him at 4-2 if you do think this game is going to blow out. On the Charlotte side, Gordon Hayward, 7-3. He was chalk yesterday. He'll probably be chalk again, but he'll be low owned because of the matchup. So, I mean, he only got 33 fantasy points. Shot the ball terrible. As I mentioned, he's getting about close to 40 minutes a game, which is huge. He has huge upside, so I kind of liked Gordon Hayward a good amount today at 7-3. He kind of failed people yesterday with 33. He's had two back-to-back bad games, but I mean the minutes are there, the usage is there, so it's not the best matchup. But if they can keep it close, it's usually because of Gordon Hayward. So I like him at 7-3. Devontae Graham and Rozier, one of those things. Their price tag's up. You can take a shot on them if you want, but I'm not going to go there. Same thing with PJ Washington. The coach mentioned they wanted to start playing him at center, get him more minutes there, and he's had two pretty good games back to back, 33 and 40 fantasy points. Obviously, he's going to have to guard Giannis this game, and that's probably not going to end well for him. He's going to get in foul trouble, so I don't think you get to do it. You can take a shot on LaMelo Ball. He played well last game, 30 minutes, 35 and a half fantasy points. Even if this game blows out, he could still get you, close to 25, 30 minutes. So you can definitely take a shot on him at 5-6. His price tag is good. Cody Zeller, he's still in play. I mean, his price tag came up another 500. He usually has a floor, safe floor of 20. Can get you in the 30s if he's rebounding and shooting the ball well. But I don't know if you have to do it 4 or 5. I just much rather target Gordon Hayward, and then you can take a shot on one of Graham, Rozier, and Washington, and then LaMelo Ball. Moving on to Portland and Charlotte, or Portland and Chicago. This will probably be a pretty popular game to get pieces from or stacked today. Dame at the top, 10-6, firmly in play. Has huge upside into 70s and 80s. He's shooting really well. It's a perfect spot against Chicago. The Bulls don't like to play defense. They're terrible at defense, so Dame should be able to, get whatever he wants. I really like him. He'll have high ownership today, but, that's fine. CJ's still out. You got Enos at 7-1. He's been pretty good. I mean, I don't like the price tag on him, but he does have, huge double-double upside. And, can get you some assists, because sometimes they like to double him in the post if he's going against a smaller big. I mean, you can see he's got, 50 fantasy point upside. His minutes have kind of been consistent. Let's say about 30 minutes a game. And against the Bulls, this is a great matchup. You're going to have a lot of, rebounding opportunities to be able to score against their small bigs. So I think he's an option. I don't think I'm going to go there, but, always in play. 5-5 from Carmelo Anthony. I mean, decent. You see he's getting huge minutes. 35 when he first started, now 38. Shot the ball terrible. Still got you 23 fantasy points. So you can definitely run the back from Carmelo. Going to be popular again today, but it's fair. Gary Trent Jr. had a great game last game, which is unfortunate. I didn't play him. He got you 32 fantasy points. Shot the ball really well. Playing a ton of minutes. So you can definitely go to him. He's at a great price, 5-2. It's just if he's hitting his shots, he's going to pay off his salary. If not, he's going to have a really low floor, maybe less than 10 points. So it's just one of those things. It's very risky. He's a good GPP play, but I don't think I'm going to go there at 5-2. And then Covington's questionable. If he's back, it does take a little bit of minutes away from Carmelo. So, Derrick Jones Jr. is out. So that does give more minutes to Simons and Hood. you can play Simons. I mean, he's been shooting the ball really well, which is surprising. Getting a bunch of rebounds. So I don't know if you can trust his scoring, his output, but he's definitely getting the minutes. So I mean, it's a good matchup as I mentioned. The past couple times. So I'm fine if you go to him at 4-4. I wouldn't say he's the best player, the safest, but you can definitely go there. Same thing with Hood. He's been bad since coming back from his injury, but it was kind of expected. He was out for a while, but he has the ability to get you close to 25, 30 minutes if he's playing well. I mean, he's a good shooter, or used to be at least. And at 3-8, I mean, I think he's worth taking a shot on. Hoping that Melo and other guys play bad, because if Melo's playing okay, and Gary Trent's playing bad, they're gonna put in Hood over Trent. So I say definitely target Dame. You can take a shot on Enos and Melo. And then, it's more of a GPP dart throw for Trent, Simons, and Hood. On the Bulls side, oops, sorry about that. On the Bulls side, we have Zach LaVine, the top 8-8, going to be extremely high owned, but I mean, it's worth eating that chalk. He's huge upside, into the 60s if he's shooting really well. So, I mean, this is going to be a popular game to stack, but I'm all for it, especially Zach at 8-8. It's a pretty good price for him, firmly in play. Kobe White, maybe you have a decent amount of ownership today. I still don't think so. He's been playing bad over the past, 6-7 games. Besides, he did Charlotte and LA. He did okay, but other than that, 8 points, 24-11. So he's just been up and down. I mean, his minutes are there. He's not really losing them unless he's playing really bad. So I think he's in a good spot. 6'9". It's okay price for him, but he has the ability to get you 35 plus minutes if he's playing well and shooting the ball well. Can get you, rebounds and assists. So I do like him at 6'9" in this matchup. Laurie, 6'6". As I always say with Laurie, I don't like playing on him. He has, high ceiling, but he also has a very low floor. As you see, 14 points. It's a good matchup for him, but he's just so inconsistent. If he's shooting the ball well, he's not going to get you rebounds and assists usually. So, I mean, you can go there. I'm not. Wendell's still out, so, Otto Porter, he didn't play the last game, but he'll probably get, 25-ish minutes off the bench. He does have, double-double upside. He's an okay play at 5'6". Doesn't really have a huge upside because his minutes are capped, so, you can take a shot on Thad Young. He'll be, pretty popular today. Getting about 25 to 30 minutes. He can rebound. He can, get some assists. He can score points, so I mean, I think he's a decent play at 5K. I don't think you can expect, 43 fantasy points from him again, but he can definitely get you, at least 30. So at 5K, that's not too bad. And then you can take a shot on guys like Garrett Temple, Pat Williams, or Valentine. I don't think I'm going to go there. Even with Sato, you can, take a shot. He's 3'5", but he played 24 minutes last game. He's a decent player. He's kind of like Rubio. He can get you some points, rebounds, and assists. You just need to hope that he's hitting the shot. So I say, those guys are more of dart throws. You'd want to take a shot on, Young, Porter, and then Kobe or Zach. Sacramento, Miami. De'Aaron Fox, 8-2. Price tag has come down. Not the best spot, but, I mean, it's one of those things. He's our whole team, so if he has a good game, the game will probably stay close. And he'll probably get you, 40-plus fantasy points. So you can go there if you want. Not for me. As I mentioned, Holmes, he's at 6'7", so his price tag hasn't really moved. Last game, his minutes were down to 26. He did, foul out, so that's why. But he will, play 35-plus if it's close. Has, good upside into the 40s fantasy point-wise. So he's always low-owned, especially in the spot against Miami. So you can go there, but I don't think you have to today. Much rather target other games. Buddy Hield, don't play him. 6'3". I just don't like him. Same with Barnes. I mean, I just don't really like this team besides Halliburton. You can take shots on them. I don't think it's worth it for their price tags, but you can definitely go there. Halliburton, as I mentioned earlier, going over my breakdown of the last game's slate and lineup, has huge upside. He's like LaMelo Ball, can get you that 10-10-10 game, rebounds, points, and assists. So I think it's a good matchup for him at 4-9. Going to get you to about 30 minutes a game. So I think you can definitely run it back with him today. I probably will. Hassan Whiteside, 3,200. He got extended because of the foul trouble and Holmes fouling out, so he played 20 minutes. He's a good point per minute guy, got 32 fantasy points, so you can definitely take a dart throw on him and hope Holmes gets in foul trouble or this game blows out. He'll get some run at 3,200. That's an easy price tag for him to pay off. That's about it on that side. For Miami, we got Bam at the top, 9-2. You can go there if you want. It's a good matchup for him, but, Jimmy is questionable. He might be coming back. Hero's questionable. I think he'll still play. And Dragic is still out, so you can definitely take a shot on, none. His price tag has come up, but I'd say if everyone's in, this game is kind of a stay away from me besides Jimmy. If Jimmy's going to play his full amount of minutes at 7-3, it's a great price for him. Great matchup. He'll probably play, 35 minutes if the game stays close. He has huge upside. So I think if Jimmy plays in no minutes restriction, he's firmly in play. And that, kind of takes everyone to like secondary plays for me. But if he's out, you could definitely look to Bam. Again, Hero again if he's in. And then none and take a dart throw on Robinson and Kelly Olynyk. Houston, New Orleans. Christian Wood's always in play, 8-7. His price tag hasn't moved. Has double-double upside. He's basically gotten double-double every game this season. He can get you close to 60 fantasy points if he's playing well, rebounding well. I think it's a good matchup against New Orleans, Brandon Ingram, so I think he's definitely in play. I might look to run it back with him. I like playing him. He's a good player. Victor Oladipo. Now that John Wall is getting his minutes up, he played 30 last game. I think Oladipo takes a slight hit. You can definitely play Oladipo, but his price tag's kind of, hefty at 7-9. I'd much rather look to John Wall. At 6'8", he'll be popular today, but if he's going to get, 30 minutes again or even more, he does have 40, 50 plus upside. So he's definitely someone to keep an eye out for, injury wise and injury news wise. So DeMarcus Cousins, 6'8". Don't play him. With Wood back, Wood's going to get all the minutes. He only played 11 last game. Got you 7.5 fantasy points, but that was all within the first quarter. And then, Wood started doing well, so they kept DeMarcus on the bench. So don't play DeMarcus. You can take a shot on Eric Gordon. He gets a good amount of minutes. About 30 a game, maybe more if he's playing well. But he's just very score independent. And with, John Wall back, everyone healthy, I just want to do it. And then everyone else is, now with Kevin Porter probably playing, it's going to take some time away from Nwaba, Jayshawn Tate. PJ Tucker is someone you can always throw a dart throw at, just because he's going to get you about 30 minutes a game. He's not a high usage guy. You just need him to hit the shots, the corner threes. But I don't think you get to do it. I just say target Wall and Wood, and then, take a dart throw on Victor Oladipo. Because he still is a high usage guy. He has the ability to get you there. It's just, Wall is going to take some of that usage away with his minutes now. But as you see, last game, he played 37, 46 fantasy points. So he's not a terrible play, but I'd just much rather play Wood or Wall over him at that price. New Orleans, we have Ingram at the top, 8-1. As I mentioned, price tag hasn't moved, but he does have the ability to get you in the high 50s if he's getting rebounds and assists. Got 0 rebounds last game, which is surprising, but he has started to pick it up a little bit, 37, 53, 39. So I do think this is a great spot for him at 8-1. He's never really popular. People would rather play Zion at 7-4 just because Zion's, has this very safe floor, basically in about 40 to 45 every game. So you can definitely go to either one. Obviously Zion looks better, the safer floor and with that price tag, but Ingram does have high 50s, 60s if he's having a really good game. So at 8-1 and lower ownership, I'd rather take a shot on Ingram. And then, as I mentioned, you can take a shot on Lonzo or Eric Bledsoe. I mentioned if Lonzo's in, definitely take a shot on him over Bledsoe, just because he has higher upside in the ceiling. As we saw, 47 fantasy points last game, 27 points. I think it was his best, shooting threes in his career, 7 for 13, 50% basically, over 50%. So 5K, it's a great price for him. His ownership will be a little bit higher. I think it'll be a decent amount just because of his good game last game in the matchup. So I think he's definitely in play. Same with Steven Adams. 31 fantasy points. He's more of a cash game play, but you can definitely target him at 5.5 for GPPs and hope he gets you into the 40s. But that's about it. I target Ingram, Zion, and then Lonzo Ball on this side. LA Boston should be a really good game. James or Davis are questionable. They do it every day. I don't know why they still do it. It's so annoying. They're questionable literally every slate with new injuries. So, LeBron in this game is going to be a great pay up 10-3 if you want to get off like chalky Dame. He's one of those guys who can get you 50, 60, 70, even 80 if he's playing really well. So, it's going to be a great matchup for him. I believe he'll probably play, so if he's in, you can definitely take a shot on him. Anthony Davis looks great at 9-3 against Boston as well. They'll both play about 35 to 40 minutes if it's a close game. Same thing, his 50, 60, 70 fantasy point upside if he's playing well. No one on the Boston side is going to be able to guard him, so I do really like them at the top. If for some reason one of them is out, you're going to want to play the one that's in. And if for some reason they're both out, you're going to want to play Harrell at 5.5, obviously Schroeder, and then Kuzma. And then you can look to take shots on guys like Horton Tucker, Morris, because they'll get more run, but I'm assuming they'll play, and they'll both play, so I'd rather go to Davis over LeBron, but they're both good spin-ups for today. Boston side, Tatum 8.5. I think he's a good price, but he's also a good play. Has the ability to get you, into the 50s if he's shooting really well. Has that rebounding floor. Can get you some assists, so I do like him. His minutes will start going up to the high 30s, close to 40s. It should be a good game, close game. So I like Tatum if you want to go that way. Brown 8K. His price tag has come down a little bit, but as I mentioned, he's option B in this team, but he does have into the 50 fantasy point upside if he's shooting well. If this game stays close, it's going to be because of Jaylen Brown and Tatum. So look to them if you want to target this game. 6.5 for Kemba. His minutes restriction isn't clear. So the last report they had for the San Antonio game was that he's going to be on a minutes restriction for the next week or two. And we saw him only get 27 minutes, so I don't think he has to go to Kemba yet, just yet at 6.5. Marcus Smart, he's someone you can always take a dart throw on. 6'2", with Kemba's minutes coming back, it doesn't really affect Marcus. He's still going to play at least 30, 35 plus. If he's shooting the ball well, he can get you into the 40s. So he's going to be extremely low owned. His price tag isn't the best, but you could definitely take a shot at 6'2". And that's about it on this team. I just much rather play Tatum, Brown, and then take a shot on Marcus Smart. Everyone else is not in play for me. Memphis, San Antonio. Probably going to be one of the chalkiest games of the slate to target guys. Especially John Morant will probably be one of the highest owned guys of the slate. 7-1. Now he's back. He's playing huge minutes. Going to be about 34 to 35, maybe even more if it stays close. Great matchup for him. Huge upside, so I'd say he's probably one of the best plays of the day. And, everyone's going to be playing him. All the other YouTubers are talking about him, having his their cover photos. So I do think he's a great spot to, target. J-Val's still out. Jaren Jackson's still not back. You can take, a look to a guy like Dylan Brooks at 6'3". He does have some, 30, 40 upside, but he's just if he's not hitting a shot, he's not going to get you there, and he hasn't been shooting the ball well this year. So I don't think I'd do it at 6'3". Brendan Clark, 6'1". He's been getting a good amount of minutes, with J-Ball out, 30, 35. So he's playing about 35 minutes a game. Can score the ball, can rebound well, can get you some, steals, some assists. So I do like him at 6'1". It's a pretty decent spot for him against the Spurs. Slow-mo, 5'6". I don't think you get to do it. He'll play about 30 minutes a game, but he's come down to earth since the beginning of the season, so just not for me. You can definitely go there if you want, but not for me. And the last guy I mentioned, you can take a shot on Gorgie at 4'6". He'll probably start. Actually, I don't know. We'll see. You have to keep an eye on that. If he starts, he's definitely in play at 4'6". He'll probably play 20 to 25 minutes. But they do like starting Xavier, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that. 3'5", probably play about 30 minutes a game. Has high upside, points and rebounds. So if he starts, he's probably the second best player of the day behind, Ja, because of the 30 minutes. So even if he comes off the bench, I do think he's in play at 3'5". That price tag's great. So how to attack this side? I'd say Ja, Clark, and then 100% play Tillman. Lock him in at 3'5" if he's going to start. San Antonio side, we have DeRozan at the top. 7K. His price tag hasn't changed, so he's going to be popular, especially if you're going to do a game stack for this game, but it's good reason. He's 40, 50 fantasy point upside, so 7K, easy price tag for him to pay off. It's just one of those things, you could play him today, and then he can go out there and get you 20 fantasy points. It's one of those things, it's just, I feel like every game, even though DeRozan and DeJounte Murray are the safest plays, in most, I said they're definitely the safest. They usually get you 30s into the 40s plus. It's just, I don't know why, but for this, sometimes this year, it's just like, they'll just have terrible games. And then you have guys like Keldon Johnson, LaMarcus, or like Patty go off. So DeRozan's firmly in play. DeJounte Murray's firmly played 6'3" at that price. He's popular last night, got you 40 fantasy points. He's going to be popular again. So, yeah, I think this is perfect, game-to-game stack. Ja, Clark, Tillman, and run it back with DeMar DeRozan, DeJounte Murray, or even Keldon Johnson. His price tag's 5'8". He's going to be, lower owned besides DeJounte and DeMar. So, going to get you about 30 minutes a game. Could get you close to 40 fantasy points. He's been playing well the past 3 out of 4, so I do like him at 5'8". To get off of Chalky or, DeJounte and DeMar. You take a shot on LaMarcus, 5'4". Just hasn't been playing well or a lot recently, so he'll be extremely low owned. Great price for him. It's just, will he get you there? Who knows? As I mentioned, Patty Mills, you can play him if you want. I'm not going to go there. Same with Rudy. And then you can take a dart throw on a guy like Lonnie Walker, 4'3". He's kind of scoring dependent right now. He's getting about 30 minutes a game, but he does have the ability to get you 30s if he's playing, really well. Don't think it to go there. And then, Vassell, he's always in play for value, 3'7". Back-to-back games, he's only played 15 and 18 minutes, which is not something you like to see. But he was getting, about 20 to 25 before that, so I do think you can run it back. I don't think people are going to look to, play him just because his minutes going down, so I do think you can definitely go there. And then last two games of the slate. Phoenix, Dallas. Booker's still out, so Ayton's isn't viable. Chris Paul's viable. He had a bad game last game, but you can definitely run it back. And then, Bridges, Crowder, and Johnson are all in play. Crowder's been playing the best out of all 3 of them, and his price tag is still, the second highest, 38, 36, 34. I do think he'll carry a decent amount of ownership. People are going to want to chase that box score. I still much would rather, take a shot on Bridges or Johnson. 34 from Bridges last game. He played well. Not shooting the ball a ton, but can definitely get you some rebounds, steals, and blocks. So I do like him. I like paying up 200 more just to get off of the high ownership that will probably be on Crowder. Cam Johnson, just very score independent. 5'3" is a good price for him, but you just need him to hit his shots. I don't think you get to do it. I'd much rather, if you're going to target one of these wings, pick Bridges. And if you want to be chalky, just take, Jay over Cam. That does it for me on this side. Payne's still out, so you can definitely take a shot on Carter. He's only 3-3, but he got a DNP last game for some reason. Only played 3 minutes, so he's just very risky. And then Frank the Tank, 3-4. Almost got a triple-double last game, which makes no sense in 24 minutes. So I want to expect that again. People are going to chase this 24 minutes, almost triple-double upside. You don't have to do it. I think he'll get about 15 minutes, probably like 18 fantasy points at most, which is not bad for 3-4, but I don't think you get to do it. He has a very low floor, and people chase that last game on him. I think much rather just target Ayton, Paul, or Bridges. On the downside, Luka's always firmly in play. They've been playing terrible. They've lost like 3 or 4 games in a row. They just had some interviews last night about how pissed they are about how bad they're playing. Luka's minutes are down just because they got blown out twice in a row by Utah. So I think this is a great spot to target Luka. He's the second most expensive on the slate. I think his ownership will be down just because of how bad they've been playing as a team and getting blown out. But I do think he's a great spend up. There'll probably be some injury news that comes out today that allows you to get up to Luka. So I do like him at 10-7. Porzingis 7-5. Price tag has come down. He got babied by Stifle Tower yesterday. Only 22 fantasy points. So I think this is a great spot to target Luka and Porzingis. They're pissed. They're going to want to play well. So they're both firmly in play. I think I might consider both of them today. Harden, Johnson, Brunson, all the rest of these guys you can take it. I'd say the best guy to take a shot on is probably Richardson. I think he's starting again. Going to get you about 25 plus minutes a game now that he's back. You've seen him hit his shots. He's coming back, off of being off for like 2 weeks, so it's going to take him a little bit of time to get you there, but he can definitely get you in the 30s if he's playing well, so at 4-2, it's a good price for him. I expect this team to be, fired up to play well, but now with everyone healthy, it just kind of takes the minutes away from all these like bench guys. I think you'd just much rather target Luka, Porzingis, and then Hardaway would be the third safest guy to target on his team. He's score independent, but at 5'6", if he's hitting his shots, he can get you into 30 fantasy points. And so I'd much rather, play Luka and Porzingis. And if you wanted someone else, I'd say go Hardaway. Detroit, Golden State, last game of the day. 7-8 for Jeremy Grant. It's a great spot for him. He's played, bad the past 2 games, but he does have huge upside, as we've seen at the beginning of the season. So I think he's firmly in play. Play all the minutes you can if the game stays close. Jelon Wright at 6'6", that's a no for me. Blake Griffin, 5'9", no for me. Plumlee, as I mentioned in the last slate, definitely look to him. He got you there back-to-back, 34, 36 games. He can score and rebound, so I do think he's firmly in play at this price. Going now to score independent, no. And then you can take a shot on D Rose. He does, have a high ceiling if he's playing well. We just haven't seen it in a while. 20, 19, 17, 22. But at the beginning of the season, we saw 39, 33, 41. So I think this might be a prime spot to target D Rose. It would be very low owned, 5K. He does have a low floor, but all you need is that, one good game from him out of every 5. And then he'll definitely, help you get to cashing at least, if not even more. So that does it for me on this side. The best plays are Grant, and then Plumlee, and then D-Rose. Golden State side, Steph at the top, 9-7. Always has the ability to break the slate if he's shooting well. He shot bad the past 2 games. I mean, I guess this last game he shot 50%, which is good, but he's just had a low floor this season. So it's just one of those things. It's always tough, fading Steph just because he can go out and shoot the ball like 40 times and you get you like 70 fantasy points. So it's kind of like one of those things. If fading Luka, you never feel good just because they can blow up the whole slate if they're playing well, and you don't have them. But I think he's definitely firmly in play, especially in this matchup against Detroit. You can definitely go there, get off of chalky. Guys like Dame, Wiggins 6'3". His price tag has come down. He's the second best option on this team. He can get you into the 40s if he's shooting the ball really well. So I do think this is a decent price and a decent matchup for him. You can definitely target him. Kelly Oubre, no, I wouldn't go there. Wiggins is a lot more consistent. Draymond, he's just been bad. As I mentioned, he has that triple-double upside, the low triple-double upside, 10, 10, and 10, but he just hasn't been playing well this year. And then you can take a shot on guys like, Wiseman, 4'8". Not playing a ton of minutes. He's coming off the bench, but he does have the ability to get you there if he's playing really well. They do look to, feed him the ball when he's in, but I don't know if you have to do it. I'd just much rather target a guy like, Steph or Wiggins. And that does it for me today, guys. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TFSHeart. Hit that like button, notifications bell, and subscribe. I'm slowly getting more used to talking to the camera. It's hard. You don't realize how much talking it is. When I first started, it was really hurting my throat. I was drinking a ton of water. You're constantly gulping, but getting a lot more used to it. I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Oh, wait, before that, sorry. I'm all over the place right now. I need more coffee, but I'll go over some core plays for you guys to play today. I think I'm going to do Luka just because I like to target, buy low when guys are playing bad. His price tag is still up there, but he's firmly in play. And then shooting guard, I think I'm going to go back to my boy, Halliburton. He's going to be a little chalky, but that's fine with me. And then who else? And then I think you want to get exposure to that was it Spurs-Memphis game. So, Ja. And I do think Xavier Tillman's going to start. So, where is he at? 3.5, I think. Right there, yep. And he's power forward, center eligible, which is nice. So, I think this is the building blocks I'm going to go off of. You can definitely pay up for one more stud. I don't think all the way up to a Dame or LeBron. I think that'd be too much, but we'll see. I guess you could. So this is definitely a viable build. We just gotta wait for more injury news to see if people are out. But yep, that's gonna do it for me today, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.